Despite all of the complaining this year about how terrible the race is, this year in NASCAR has actually been one of the most stacked in terms of parity in a very long time, with 13 separate drivers getting an average finish of better than 15th. The racing this season may have not been great for the win, but it has been stacked in terms of drivers competing for the top 10 positions. Let's take a look and see how the playoffs unfolded this time around. This team is the perfect reason why the win and you're in bullshit of the NASCAR playoffs should not be in existence. This team has been terrible, with only 2 top 5s the entire season and a grand total of 23 laps led. The only reason why this team even got into the playoffs was because he intentionally dumped Almirola on the backstretch of the 500. This team has been wasting talent ever since Dale Earnhardt passed away on the racetrack. His sacrifice has only led to 15 years of wasted talent, including wasting the first half of a Hall of Fame career. I hope this team dies. And now we take a look at the most surprising first round elimination, Denny Hamlin, the driver that has been one of the most consistent drivers ever since he came into the NASCAR Cup Series. He's had a win in every single season so far, but it looks like that streak now is going to be broken. A DNF at Las Vegas took him out of contention and left him on the outside looking in. It is always a delight to see a Joe Gibbs car eat shit in the playoffs, but it is a little surprising to see Denny Hamlin not go as far as making it to the final 8. We'll see if this team will turn it around next year. I'm confident. And speaking of DNFs taking a driver out of contention for a championship, in steps Erik fucking Jones. One of the Joe Gibbs drivers that have been rushed to the Cup Series way too quickly and has suffered in the process, although he hasn't done as terribly as one of his teammates. At the time of his win at Daytona, he looked like a surefire bust, and he was never going to win in the Cup Series. But since winning at Daytona, he's actually got quite a bit of momentum and has 18 top 10s this season. I'm actually looking forward to see what kind of season Erik Jones is able to put up next year. Keep going, man. You're still young. Oh, and now probably for the most satisfying of the eliminations in the first round. Jimmie Johnson is gone. He has looked washed up pretty much this entire season, and I will honestly be shocked if he ends up not retiring in the next few years. He looks completely washed up and is losing one of the greatest crew chiefs in NASCAR history next season. Another one of NASCAR's winning streaks is going to end up coming to an end this weekend. Another winning streak is going to be coming to an end this weekend with Jimmie Johnson not being able to secure a victory at Homestead. The empire of NASCAR is dead. This team is done. Congratulations, Brad Keselowski. You decided to shit the bed at the most inopportune time and end up getting eliminated in the round of 12. That's what finishing outside of the top 12 at Dover and the top 25 at Talladega will end up doing for you. This is a very unfortunate elimination. However, Keselowski had one of his uncharacteristically inconsistent seasons with 6 DNFs. However, he also had 19 top 10s. Don't worry, guys. Keselowski will be right back in the hunt next season. Mark my words. So good job. You end up making it past the first round of the playoffs by taking advantage of the 2 leaders wrecking at the Roval. So what are you going to do in the second round? Oh, that's right. Decide to not team up with any of the overpowered Fords and end up destroying any sort of hope of you advancing to the round of 8. I will still not understand why Ryan Blaney was being so selfish on the track. I hope you learn your lesson from this, young kid. You have talent. You have speed, but you clearly show that you cannot hold your speed on the racetrack with your average finish being terrible compared to your average start. I hope you start learning your lessons soon. Welcome back to mediocrity, Kyle Larson. After that almost championship winning season last year, you are once again trash. This mainly has to do with the Chevrolet power plant and chassis being a steaming pile of goat shit, but clearly the dissension of your team has not helped any either. 19 top 10s is all that you could do? Come on, you almost won the championship last year, and you definitely should have. Despite no truly terrible finishes in the round of 12, you were still eliminated. Take that to heart, Larson. You need to actually get wins to advance in this playoff system. Unless you're Ryan Newman. To say that I was disappointed with Alex Bowman's performance this season would be an understatement. I was expecting this team to fully come out with a bang and end up getting several victories this season along with Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott has gotten those wins. Alex Bowman has not. Only 11 top 10s with top tier equipment? Come on, I know that you're better than this. You showed so much promise during that Phoenix race. I saw just how good of a hard-nosed driver that you are. Start driving up to your potential, damn it! God, the curse of Dale Jr. is not going to leave this team ever, will it? You fought hard. You fought well. You shat the bed at the most inopportune time at Phoenix and ended up wrecking yourself out of a championship opportunity. That is sad. Although you're definitely by far the most successful Chevrolet this season, there is definitely work to be improved. 3 wins, 20 top 10s. Nah, Chase Elliott has enough talent to win a damn championship. Can't wait for next year when Chevrolet brings a real car to the track. Maybe try to work on your restarts a little bit more, Elliott. I'm sure that it will help you more than it will hurt. For a team that has never had an average finish better than 22nd, I would say that this is a vastly better season than anybody could have imagined for Aric Almirola. Even though he only had the 4 top 5s, even though he only had the 181 laps led, this was still an accomplishment. This was Aric Almirola's first time in top-notch equipment, and this was the number 10 team's first time in an actual championship setting. And my God, have they impressed. That win at Talladega to lock them into the round of 8 was something fierce. However, he was just barely not good enough in the round of 8 to get them through to the next round. Those guys at the top were so far ahead thanks to the head start they got in the regular season. Don't worry, Almirola, you'll make it next year. Another driver that has come out and impressed this season, Clint Bowyer. He ended up getting 2 wins in the regular season. However, he ended up doing terribly come playoff time. Once that pressure started to get on him, that Richmond curse came right back and bit him right in the ass. He somehow coasted through the round of 16 and the round of 12 despite not putting up any good finishes outside of Talladega and the Roval. The round of 8, well, there's really no RNG tracks there. It's Martinsville, Texas, and Phoenix, and he shat the bed in every single one of them. Eat that playoff defeat, Bowyer. You're probably never coming back. Then again, the playoffs is win and you're in, and he can win at any super speedway. Fucking Austin Dillon. And that leads us all to Big Brother. Kurt Busch has quietly had the best season of his entire career. He's going to likely set a record for top 10s with 22 if he gets that top 10 at Homestead, which he should. And he's going to end up posting a second best in average finish with 12.2. He had a surprisingly good season this year, however, a terrible race at Phoenix ended up taking him out of the Final 4. Just realize that that terrible finish is your own doing, Kurt Busch. I don't care if the rules were not clear or whatever. You don't pass the goddamn pace car. The fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, you have the championship on the line and then you decide to pull in front of the pace car to get onto pit road? What the hell were you thinking was going to happen? You think that they were just going to allow that? They made it perfectly clear that you cannot pass the pace car coming on a pit road. Let's just get to the Final 4. This year was back to the status quo for the domination of Kevin Harvick. Ever since leaving that shithole that is Richard Childress Racing, he has done nothing but dominate the entire NASCAR scene, having no less than 20 top 10s in every single season since then. And he's likely going to get a career high in top 10s this year with 29, one short of the NASCAR record. He has had nothing short of an absolutely phenomenal season, and he's looking prime for yet another championship. However, likely some restart shenanigans or some other yellow flag bullshit's going to happen in the final 5 laps, and Kevin Harvick's going to be screwed out of a title. Joey Logano has finally bounced back from that encumbered win at Richmond, and he has had a season for the ages. Although not quite as impressive as his 2015 season, 2018 has still been very, 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 very good for the 22 team. Having 25 top 10s and likely to have a 26th and an average finish of 11th with only 3 DNFs, with one coming last week. I wouldn't say that he's a favorite. In fact, he's probably the dark horse in this championship race. How you can have 25 top 5s in a season and still be considered the underdog for the championship is beyond my knowledge. But hey, that's the situation that we're staring at right in the eyes. That's just how competitive the top 4 have been this season. And here we have Martin Truex Jr. in his final year of relevance, putting up the most Martin Truex Jr. season of all time. He was either inside of the top 5 or outside of the top 20 when it comes to this season. Even though he does have the 20 top 10s, he has been inconsistent as hell throughout the entire season with 5 DNFs. I am so glad this team finally is going to be disbanded at the end of the year, although there will be a new Toyota affiliated team that Matt DiBenedetto is going to that's going to be just as overpowered. This new championship format was specifically made to benefit you, Truex. Any championship that you don't win underneath this format is an absolute disappointment. And last but certainly not least, we have King Shrub. The most unlikable driver in NASCAR history who decides to do crying taunts while celebrating a victory after wrecking somebody, has had one of the best seasons of his entire career, with 8 wins only matching what he put up in 2008 and a career-high 27 top 10s. Shrub has always been labeled as a playoff choker, but recently he has not choked one single bit in the playoffs. He's made the Final Four at every single opportunity that he's had except for the first year. Now that we've met all the participants, it's time to figure out who is going to win the big one at Homestead. This is going to be an admittedly tough one. I don't see anything that really sets apart any of the top 4 drivers at all. We've had 5 different winners in the past 5 races at Homestead-Miami, with Truex, Harvick, and King Shrub a win each. Kevin Harvick has the clear advantage when it comes to average finish, but this race it doesn't matter about average finish, it only matters about who finishes the highest. Or in this case, more than likely, who is going to end up winning the race. Taking a look at all of this, I think that NASCAR is going to want an underdog, and they're going to have Joey Logano pull out a win and win the 2018 NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series Championship. Now watch as Logano ends up pounding the wall in lap 5 and everybody points and laughs at me.